Welcome back to Written in Voice, and sorry it wasn't on Monday. I had fiber internet installed and wow, I love the speed. To get back to today's topic, why do we always wait for the right moment? This is something I feel quite strongly about. Why do we wait for everything to align, for everything to be perfect before we dare to act? And what if the right moment was now? I feel like I've spent my whole life waiting for things to get better, waiting for the pain to ease, waiting for more energy, waiting for the world to finally make room for me, waiting to be noticed, waiting to be understood, waiting for the right moment. But you know what? The right moment never came. There are only two choices in life. You're either active or you're passive. Yes, we do need both, because passivity allows us to dream, and dreaming is important. It feeds us, it opens us, it prepares us. It's good if you want to be creative especially. But if we stay there, motionless, dreaming without ever acting, clinging to some ideal moment that may never come, then life will simply pass us by. It was in my 50s that I finally began to live. Despite the fatigue, despite the pain, despite the doubts. With my stiff back, my symptoms, my anxiety, and yes, sometimes the urge to give up. Except I had barely begun. What I was waiting for wasn't an event. It was permission, validation. Someone or something that would tell me, it's all right, you can start now. But that's not how life works. After being knocked down one too many times, I realized I had to move forward without an invitation. Today, I give myself that permission. Even if I'm not at my best, even if I still doubt, because the perfect moment doesn't exist. We have to create it. So I stopped waiting. I stopped diminishing myself. I stopped listening to the bitterness of others, their veiled sarcasm, their quiet projections from people who never dared. Those who've given up often try, in some way or another, to make you give up too. With lines like, what if it doesn't work? You need money for that. At your age, really? But what they're really saying is something about themselves, their own disappointments, their unspoken fears. And then, yes, there is fear. The kind we rarely name. Fear of failure, but also fear of success. Fear of being seen. Fear of stepping out of oneself. Of being visible to the world. And of being visible to yourself. I spent a long time sitting on a bench, watching others take the leap, as if I didn't belong to that world. But the truth is, I was standing on a platform, watching the trains go by, one after the other, without ever getting on. Let's face it, I was letting my life slip by. I became a blurred figure, motionless, barely noticed by others. Eventually, I understood that the train wasn't going to stop for me. I had to stand up, to take a step. even a small one, even an unsure one. Because staying still was already a form of giving up. We think we need to be ready, to be strong, supported, energized, legitimate. But legitimacy is a trap. We wait for it to come from others, but really, it can only come from within. It's not something we wait for, it's something we become. And sometimes you take action alone. No cheerleaders, no reassuring looks, just a quiet voice inside you that says, keep going. It's not strength, it's momentum. A small, stubborn spark, alive enough not to die out. There were days I didn't trust anything. Not myself, not the future. But I learned one thing. It's not the mind that brings momentum. It's the act, the reaching hand, the spoken word, the body that moves. Desire comes after the gesture, not before. We think we need motivation to begin, but often it's the beginning that gives birth to motivation, even if it's slow, even if it's quiet. What I've come to understand is that life won't slow down to wait for me. It follows its own rhythm. I have to find mine. And sometimes mine is slower, but that's all right. It's not about speed. It's about movement. There is no finish line. No moment where everything becomes clear, clean, or validated. That's the myth. In truth, we live in the blur, and we must move through it anyway. Living is not about ticking boxes. It's not about fitting in. It's about feeling and making something of yourself with what you have, and sometimes with what you've lost. It's writing a line, reaching out, warming a voice, daring a step into the unknown and saying to yourself, this, at least, is mine. Today, I write, I speak, I create, I move forward, I live, and I won't look back.